Hello and welcome to our special show. We are still savoring the Edgbaston victory, and anybody will. If you are an Indian cricket fan, it will forever be one of the best victories in the history of Indian cricket. We've compared it with the Gabba. We've talked about Oval 1971. We can compare it with Melbourne 2020. Edgbaston will rank up there in the echelons of Indian cricket with anything that you have won. The question that we are asking now, you know, is it necessary to have superstars to win a test match? Or is it necessary to have a collective team, a united team, a team that bonds, a team that wants to win, a team that stays together? At the start of the series, there was so much talk that, India will not compete because there is no Virat Kohli. India will not compete because there is no Rohit Sharma. At the start of the second test, this talk got amplified because India will not compete. There is no Jasprit Bumrah. And look at what happened. That's the whole point about test match cricket. You have new superstars coming in. You have new stars thrown up. You have new heroes created, new halos created, new legacies scripted, immortality, and everything else done for certain people. The point that I said, I don't think anyone, any superstar is necessary to win cricket matches, as long as that deep desire is there. This young Indian team at Edgbaston proved it.
They're hungry. They're hungry to do well, and you can tell that in every single over that they bowl. The catches that they took in this test match, of course, Leeds was an eye-opener. And I'm sure that it was a huge shock for the players as well, that how come you put that many runs on the scoreboard, you had 5 centurions, and you went on to lose that game. I think it was a big shock to the dressing room as well. They must have really recalibrated, thought about what needs to be done or what needs to be fixed at this point. And then the team that you saw in Edgbaston, at the Edgbaston field, was completely different. You can tell that by the way that they're functioning. They're going about their business on the field. They're very intense. Prasidh Krishna too was showing some aggression, not much, but he was showing some aggression. His body language compared to Leeds was so much better. Line and length so much better. Very, very consistent. You've got some brilliant partnerships, some brilliant batting from Shubman Gill, who's led from the front. He's, the more you talk about him, the less it is. But as a collective, it's been such a collective performance. And the way that this team is supporting each other, backing each other, even when things don't go right, you're always seeing a Rishabh Pant talking to a Shubman Gill, or a Mohammad Siraj backing Prasidh Krishna, or an Akashdeep. You're seeing a unified Team India. And it matters the most because it is being led by a 25-year-old, and it is a fairly inexperienced team without a Virat Kohli, without a Rohit Sharma. And in this game, it mattered more because there is no Jasprit Bumrah.
100%. And look at that bowling attack. Tell me who's a star. Mohammad Siraj. Certainly not a star because people castigated Mohammad Siraj at the end of that Leeds test match, right? Yeah. Akashdeep. Come on, still finding his feet in international cricket. Prasidh Krishna, I don't know how much flack Prasidh Krishna has received in the last 4 or 5 days. More after that second day when the English tore into him. Ravindra Jadeja got so much hate the other day. Washington Sundar, why is he even in the team, has been the refrain. Who is a star in that bowling attack? Nitish Reddy, people are already after his life. Not one star. Not one star. There was no Jasprit Bumrah. There was no Kuldeep Yadav. India believed. People said without Jasprit Bumrah, at least you have to have Kuldeep Yadav. And that was the refrain, right? Nobody is saying Kuldeep Yadav is a bad bowler. None of us. We also advocated Kuldeep Yadav's inclusion against the English lower order or the lower middle order who have not played left-arm wrist spin. Someone like a Jamie Smith, who has been a thorn in India's flesh, has not played left-arm wrist spin, quality left-arm wrist spin. Kuldeep can be a handful, but in the absence of a Bumrah, in the absence of a Kuldeep, this unfancied, unheralded, young bowling attack put his hand up. Akashdeep from nowhere, a 10 for at Edgbaston. Chetan Sharma 1986 10 for. Akashdeep once again a 10 for. That is the sensational effort that India has put in, folks. And that's why I am saying no superstars needed. The team is needed. The team and the hunger that Gargi mentioned is needed. The determination is needed. And one has to credit Gautam Gambhir for this, because he keeps talking about that team culture, that you don't need special anything. You've got to bond this team. And Gautam did
Did bond it.
continuously. He's putting it together. He's putting it together, backing Gill.
Backing Gill, backing a lot more players as well in that Leeds Test match. There was so much negativity against Prasidh Krishna, and you know what? In some parts, rightly so, because he did not perform up to expectations. He got chances in Australia as well, but then Gautam Gambhir, obviously there was some contribution. Gautam Gambhir obviously must have also been involved in the fact that Prasidh Krishna made it to the team. So the security that you're giving these players, you're giving them a long rope. Yes, you don't see a Prasidh Krishna coming back in the next game, but he will take a lot of confidence from the way that he bowled in this test match. And that is important for a young bowler. Look at the way that Prasidh Krishna's body language was in Leeds. You could tell that he was getting very nervous. You could tell that he was mentally just not there. But that changed for Prasidh Krishna, and I'm sure that a lot of conversation from Mone Mokkal, support staff, the senior members of the team, a lot of work has gone into making Prasidh Krishna perform the way that he has in this team. So you can tell, and the support that they're getting on the field as well. Mohammad Siraj on one end, on mid-on, Shubman Gill on mid-off. They're constantly chatting with Prasidh Krishna, patting his back, giving him confidence, and constantly talking. So if you look at all of this, when Shubman Gill came out and talked about security, you can now say that he was not bluffing. He was not lying about that. He actually wants this team to perform as a unit.
The other point is what you guys don't see on telly. The little breaks. You should see the net sessions, the practice sessions. You should see the coaching staff, the way they back these guys. Gautam Gambhir stands at the top of the Indian net, and individual conversations, not just with Shubman Gill, not just with a KL Rahul, but with a Prasidh, but with a Shardul, but with these guys. Each one, the coach is standing there. Mone Mokkal doing individual sessions with these guys. Prasidh Krishna, each time when before England came out to bat, you could see Mone Mokkal and the Indian support staff going there, Prasidh Krishna bowling and getting warmed up, and Mone Mokkal going and having chats. These are absolutely critical conversations. Even when runs were conceded, when Mohammad Siraj dropped that catch of Akashdeep, of Bryden Cast, when the match could have been finished, I don't know if you all had seen, he just went and had his arm around Akashdeep and patted him on the back saying, oh, you know what, it was your sixfer. That's the collective. That is what I am repeatedly trying to emphasize, that it is not about stars. Never was. It should never be about one player. You might have the greatest batter in the world, you will not win a test match, because it cannot be about individuals. And this is a point that we made on our live show. 9 out of your 11 players made a telling contribution in this match. Just go down and see a Jaiswal, telling contribution 87. KL Rahul, telling contribution with a 55. Number 3, Karun Nair, you will say, exactly, the catches that Karun Nair held in the slips, plus in the first innings, negating that new ball. Shubman Gill to chhod dijiye.
Also, Karun Nair, when he was at covers, the stops, those were incredible, and those were difficult ones as well, hit with full power. But Karun Nair showed why he's in the team. Definitely, yes, he did not perform up to expectations when it comes with the bat, but he negated that new ball with that partnership with KL Rahul in both the innings, and also the safest hands in the slip.
Absolutely, and that 30 odd that he got in the first innings was an important contribution.
Yes,
Shubman Gill to chhod dijiye. Rishabh Pant in Leeds, Rishabh Pant in that second innings, the 65. The point that we are repeatedly trying to make, and then Ravindra Jadeja, and then Washington Sundar, everybody put their hands up when it mattered. The team was, every time there was a drinks break, that huddle, before they went on, every time that little talk by Shubman Gill in the press conference backing his boys, that is what cricket and sport is about. You've got to stand by your boys, even in defeat, more in defeat. And this is in life. This is not just in sport, in business, in work. Today I might have a bad day. My team has to rally around me. She might have a bad day. I need to, as her editor, back her and protect her. That's what it is like. Unlike, this is not a divided unit. In Australia, by the way, let's give it to you this. 2 days before the game, India had an off day, 29th of June. 29th of June was an off day. And the players had they had a team dinner. How many team dinners did I see in BGT? Not one. I did not see a team dinner in Australia. I did not see it.
That laser,
The paintball.
Was it paintball?
They went for paintball to that Bossett Adventure Park. That was another off day. In fact, on the 26th, the day team came to Birmingham. They went for that paintball, and they had a team dinner on that day also, by the way. So a team dinner on the 26th, a team dinner on the 29th, a team dinner on the 1st, which was hosted by Gill himself. So 3 team dinners in the build-up. In Australia, in Border Gavaskar Trophy, we did not see this. We did not see. And this is what it is about. All of a sudden, we can see bonding forming. We can see the captain and the vice captain on the same page. We can see multiple conversations between a Shubman Gill and a Rishabh Pant. We can see Ravindra Jadeja going up to Gill and talking. There is no ego. England suffered because of ego.
Yeah.
In India,
100%.
this team, at least at this point in time, I am not seeing ego. And for me, that is absolutely
Essential.
critical. That it is not about superstar culture. It is about the desire to win.
And the hunger and the fact that you see that there's genuine support for each other. There is genuine, like you said, when someone's having a rough time on the field, you can tell that the team is rallying behind them. You can see that there is ample support given to a person, even when they drop a catch, in leads as well. Now, you may look at the performance of the team from a very negative angle, but when you really look at the nuances that we keep talking about, that you don't necessarily watch on the television, but when you're watching from the press box, every time Yashasvi Jaiswal dropped a catch, Shubman Gill went up to him when the cameras were off. He went up to him, he patted him on his back. Even when he dropped that third catch, it still happened. Shubman Gill would get up and actually clap. So that's how it is. And Mohammad Siraj today as well, that was a very difficult catch, but
Moment that happened, everybody came to Mohammad
came.
Siraj.
Everybody.
He was backpedaling, that catch got dropped. Everybody came to Mohammad Siraj.
And
After that
patted him on
over,
his back.
Akashdeep had taken the sweater and was going off to his field position there in the deep. Mohammad Siraj ran to Akashdeep, had his arms around Akashdeep and walked him there, as if to kind of tell him that it was your wicket, and gave him a tight hug. You could see that bonding. You could see that Mohammad Siraj, after every over, comes up to Prasidh Krishna, comes up to Akashdeep, starts chatting with them, starts making that point. Fantastic to see. This, all of a sudden, is looking like a united unit. Something in Australia that we did not see. Aapne dekha hoga, dressing room leaks, here, there, people being on their own, no real bonding. And it was a fractured unit for whatever reason. Unfortunately for India, that was the truth in Australia. Here, totally different picture. Totally different picture under a young captain and an equally young vice captain. Equally young vice captain. These two are the new superstars of Indian cricket. A Shubman Gill and a Rishabh Pant. Both X-Factor players. Both have a huge future. Rishabh, for me, is one of India's, if not India's best red ball player in the last 5 years. And look at now what Gill is doing. Looking forward, I can say this. Whatever happens, England will come very hard at Lords. But I can say this with certainty, India will compete.
India will fight. They have the hunger, they have the determination, and ahead of the Edgbaston test match, you can see that they were desperate. And sometimes nothing but even if you don't have the team, if you don't have the skills, if you have the desperation, you will win it.
Yeah, and on that note, my final point on this. Let us not say that without Virat Kohli there is no buzz.
Oh yeah.
Let us not for once say that without Rohit Sharma there is no buzz. Are yaar kya hoga? Let us not for once say that without Jasprit Bumrah England will always score 600 and 500 and 550 and whatever it is. Somebody even said on our show one time, England will score 800 runs. Are kya farak padta hai? Prasidh Krishna will concede 150 runs in 5 overs. Don't denigrate. Do not denigrate. Virat Kohli is an absolute legend of the game, but he's not bigger than the game.
No.
Rohit Sharma is a legend of the game, but he's not bigger than the game. Never will be, never was. Never will be and never was. The baton has passed. The mantle has passed. This is the future. This is the present and the future of Indian cricket. Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant. This is the future of Indian cricket. KL Rahul finding his mojo. And that's what team bonding is. This is Gautam Gambhir's team in that dressing room. They have come together as a collective. And this collective, I don't think, can be battered or rolled over by England in the next 3 test matches. Can't tell you folks how great it is. The series has been set up. And what better than Lords? Because England thought Leeds and Edgbaston,
We
2
will get it.
fortresses, 2-0, will bring India to Lords, 2 up, and we'll nail it. The point is, you go to Lords 1 apiece with India holding all that momentum. It's India's series, India's game, if they can hold themselves together and compete. And brilliant. We are very, very, very good mind space this team is in. We just hope that
They
it
carry it
continues.
forward.
like that.
The momentum should be carried forward. But on that note, we'll take your leave. We'll be back very soon. Thank you so much for watching us. And don't forget to support us by liking, sharing,